it's Amy here and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm excited to share with you guys my review and swatches of the brand new Kat Von D Shade and Light Eye Contour Quads. And there are a total of 4 of them that I did pick up. I picked up all 4 that are coming out. And I'm going to be giving you guys my review and thoughts and swatches on these. And then I'm also going to be comparing these to a lot of other palettes I have in my collection so I can show you guys different colors and help you make a better decision if you think you should get these or if you think they're easily dupable like I kind of think. So these actually haven't even technically released yet. I mean they have, but you can't find them on Sephora's website. You can't find them on Kat Von D's website or anything like that. And everything I've been seeing on Instagram says it's coming out in April. However, if you call like select Sephora's or select Sephora's inside Jcpenny, some of them are getting them early and releasing them early and putting them on display and letting people buy them. So that's how I ended up getting all 4 of them. So these do retail for $26, and this is what the actual little palette looks like, just like her signature Kat Von D little style. And so this is what they look like. It is a plastic container, and you can see, I'll talk about it later, but how thick that packaging is, like honestly completely unnecessary. But they also look like this on the inside, and this is the farthest that the plastic bends back. That does kind of bother me a little bit, like when you're working in it, like, I don't know, it just, you have to stay like this the whole time. It bothers me a slight bit, but whatever, I can get past it. So these do retail for $26, and you get 3 of these size eyeshadows, which are, let's see, 1.15 grams, which are the same size, or basically the same size as the I will show you of the Kat Von D Shade and Light Eye Contour Palette, the original. And then this one is a little bit bigger, and they're like close to the size of like the 3 bigger ones in that palette. So I will go ahead and show you guys all of these palettes, tell you about them, swatch them, and then compare them to a couple other things. So the first palette that I picked up is the Smoke palette, which is just a classic smoky eye kind of palette. You have a kind of like gray over here, you have black, then you have a very, very like typical like gray metallic kind of silvery color, and then you have a cream white color. And it's actually not white, but it is cream, and it does have a little bit of finely milled sparkles in it. So just so you guys can see up close. And then the next one is the shade Rust, which is brown and oranges. And then you have like kind of a peachy kind of skin flesh colored color over here. You have a dark brown, you have a orange with a brown undertone. Definitely has much more of a brown undertone when I was swatching comparing to other brands. Instead of like a very vibrant orange, it's definitely a darker orange. And then you have a cream with, again, just a little bit of sheen in it. So this is Rust. And don't worry, I will swatch these and show them again to you guys. And then the next palette is Plum, which this is my favorite one out of the bunch. Again, you have like a pinky flesh color. This one's a little bit darker than the palette I just showed you. Much more pinky peach. And then you have a dark purple, a light purple, and then a very, very like light lilac or rose color. So that is what the Plum one looks like. And then the last one is Sage, which is your greens and browns. So you have a very like tan camel colored color right here, and army green, kind of like a baby pukey green, or like a pea green, like baby mushed up peas, or kind of like baby food peas, like that's what that looks like. And then this is a matte cream color. So here is what those look like. This is my second favorite in the palette. And just so you guys know, since it is technically a shade and light contour quad, technically this one is considered the base that you would put all over the lid. This one is considered define, which you would put in your crease. This one is contour, where it says you can put on your lash lines or the outer V's. And then this one is your highlights. So you could definitely use them however you want, but that is the concept they're trying to sell everyone. So let me tell you about the formula, because I know a lot of people are wondering, is it the same formula as her original Shade and Light Eye Contour palette? Is it different? Things like that. So I do have the original one, and let me show you the sizes as well so that you can see that they're very similar. And I would tell you more about them as far as like I typically read off the website and things like that, but it's not available yet. Like you have to just go into Jcpenny and stuff. So I can't tell you any information, but you can see that these guys right here are very similar in size, like practically the same exact size. Technically, they're like ever so slightly different, so I don't want to read you guys off the grams and ounces because it's gonna get confusing. It's like 2.3 versus 2.63, like confusing stuff. So I just want you guys to kind of guesstimate it when you look at it. Like they're pretty close. The base color in the new palette is very similar to the big shades when you compare them side by side like this. So keep in mind that this is $26 for 3 of these and like 1 of those, whereas this palette is $46, $49. I can't remember. I just looked it up. Under $50, and it's definitely under like twice the price of this. It was like 46 because these would be 52 for 2. And you basically potentially could get like 3 of these same ones out of this entire palette. So just keep that in mind if you're looking at like the cost effectiveness of it and like comparing the price of getting the full palette. If you want all 4 of these, is it worth it? The colors, things like that. Now, as far as the formula, if I compare it to the original Kat Von D palette, I will say that they all kind of have like a slightly different formula to them. The base color to me is exactly the same as the eyeshadows in the Shade and Light palette. Very creamy, very finely milled. I don't think these are the creamiest eyeshadows in the world or the butteriest. Like there's definitely other brands I prefer. Like I think Lorac is so much softer and buttery than the Shade and Light by Kat Von D, but I still love my Kat Von D one. But I'd say that the base color is very similar to her other original palette, and that the remaining shades over here start to get a little bit more rough and scratchy and powdery. I don't want to say chalky, because even though when you put your brush in there, it does have a ton of kick up and a ton of powder flies up. As long as you kind of tap it off and then go in with it, it's ultra pigmented, gorgeous colors, easy to blend. So I don't want to use the word chalky, because to me chalky is like bad products that are like just they kind of disappear on the skin and they just go nowhere and it's just powder everywhere and the product doesn't stay on your skin. To me, that's chalky and powdery. These are just finely milled, and she tends to always have a lot of kick up with her products. Honestly, between the contour palette, the eyeshadow palette, like they all just have a lot of kick up, so you just have to learn how to use the right like technique and hand with the brush and everything like that. So anyways, I would say the base color is the same. The other ones have like a slightly different formula, like I'd say a grade below her eyeshadow palette. I think the eyeshadow palette has better formulas. Still good, but not amazing. So I guess let me get to swatching, and then the last piece of it will be the comparison to show you guys, because I think a lot of these colors are very dupable. So I'll start off with the green one. So here is the base color. Then you have define, contour, and highlight. So let me swatch them for you guys. So there are the colors. Like you can see that green one is super pigmented. I love it. They're very, very soft when you apply them to the skin. They just have a little bit rougher texture, but I think they do really blend out really, really well on the eyelids as long as you get off the excess. Otherwise, if you have too much product, it's gonna get all over the place. Okay, so again, the next one is Rust. And I really do like Rust, but I just feel like I would not get enough use out of these colors. So here is the base color, then you have define, contour, and highlight. So I know that one's a little hard to see just because of my skin tone. So there are those colors, and this base does show up. It doesn't show up very well on my skin in the bright lights right now, but you can kind of see it's kind of got like a pinky peach undertone. And then this orange color is very, very pigmented, so is the brown. Really pretty. So the next palette is the Smoke palette, which is just a typical smoky eye kind of palette. Here is the base, define, contour, and highlight. So there are those colors. The black is a really good black. I really like the base color as well. And last but not least, this is my favorite palette out of all 4 of them. This is the Plum palette. So pretty. You have like a very pretty plummy flesh colored, very, very light flesh color, a dark purple, a light purple, and then a light lilac color. So here you have the base, define, contour, highlight. So there are those colors. This one is so pretty. I like using this one as a base as well. Definitely my favorite one. Any of you brown-eyed or hazel-eyed girls out there are gonna love this palette. I have hazel eyes and I love it so much. So now let me show you what I mean about some of these to me are dupeable. Not exact dupes, but there's a lot of stuff in my collection I already have that I'm like, do I really need these? These are awfully expensive in my opinion. Like, this packaging is so freaking bulky. Like, it's obnoxious and like such a waste of space, honestly, in my opinion, because you can see that the eyeshadows are completely flat in this little base. Like, they could have made it really tiny and instead they made it so bulky and big, and I feel like part of the reason they're expensive is because of this big bulky packaging. Like, I have no idea how much plastic costs, but I just feel like a lot of the extra costs are going into the packaging that was unnecessary in my personal opinion. I also think like it's not very like friendly, the fact that this doesn't bend. So I'm not excited about it. I don't think it's very travel friendly. I don't like the shape. I don't like just the packaging in general. So I don't think it's worth the price for that aspect. And the fact that I think a lot of these shades, people are gonna look at them and go, wow, those aren't that special, honestly. Like, that's what I did. I got home and I was like, do I have a lot of these shades already in my collection? If you're someone like me that has a ton of makeup, usually I don't care about that. Usually I'm like, oh, this is different in some shape, way, or form. Like, I love it, I need it. But I got these home and I was like, feel like I have a lot of these shades already. And so that's when I started digging around between my Morphe palettes, my Lorac palettes, and things like that, and I was like, I think I have a lot of these shades. I don't need all of these, especially if these are not like an A+ product in my mind. To me, they're good. I'd give them like, I don't know, like a B or B+. Like, they're okay, probably a B. Overall, I'd probably give them a B. I think they're pretty good. I think they were really, really hyped up, and I was really excited about them, and I wasn't ultra disappointed. I just don't think they're the best overall. So I'm definitely going to keep the purple one because I don't have anything in my collection quite like this. I love the purples and I do want to keep one of them because I do really like them. I just don't like them enough to keep 4 of them. So let me show you what I mean about some of them being dupeable. So this, everyone is probably going to look at this palette and say, I've got a million things like it. Now you may be out there going, I don't have a ton of makeup. I love Kat Von D. I think I'm going to like the formula. Then get it. I think you will enjoy it. But if you're someone like me that has a crap ton of makeup, you're gonna look at your palettes going, I've got a gray and a black and a neutral color in every single one of my eyeshadow palettes. So the reason why I'm not gonna keep the smoke palette is because I have this Morphe 35K palette, and if you compare the two, just they're so similar in tone. Like, look at that. Like, I already have like tons of stuff. I've swatched a bunch of them. There's nothing that's an exact dupe for this in this palette, but they're just so similar in tone and shades that I didn't feel like I needed them. And I like the formula of these as well. I think I probably like the formula of Morphe better than these. And this is also a cheaper palette overall. I can't remember how much these retail for, but they're at least between 20 and 30. They're no more than 30. And so, at least I'm pretty sure. So when I compare the two and I'm like, look how many shades I get. Look how many shades I get here. Like, it just isn't worth it to me. I think it's a much better value over here. I've already got it in my collection. Maybe if I didn't, I would like this, but I've already got something similar. So if you have like a Morphe 35K palette, you may not want the smoke palette. Now let's see what the next one is, Rust. So this one has like orange and browns. So immediately I thought of the Morphe 350 palette because this has tons of oranges in them. Tons of oranges and tons of browns that I can't get open. Come on. So here is the Morphe 35K, and then you open up the Rust shade. And again, nothing in here is exact dupe. Out of my entire collection, I swatched this orange shade and nothing matches it. Like I was saying, these over here have a very bright orange undertone. This has a very dark brown undertone. So I don't have an exact dupe for it, but again, I just like opened up my palette and I was like, okay, this is a better value in my mind. I love the formula. And I already kind of have these shade ranges, so I didn't feel like it was necessary to have this small palette. So for that reason, I'm not going to keep Rust, as well as the fact that I personally don't like oranges on my skin tone, and I would never really wear it enough to get my money's worth. So not going to do this one either. So the next palette is Sage. Now I do like this one a lot. I haven't quite decided if I want to return it or not, because I do think it's really pretty. I love these like foresty green, like almost like camo colors, honestly, when you put them all together. So the palette that I thought was very similar was the Lorac Mega 2 Pro palette, and the reason being that The two forest green shades in the palette, if you guys can see up close, are very, very similar. That almost so similar, I will swatch these for you. And then the brown base shade in Kat Von D is very similar to Tawny. So let me swatch these for you. The top one is Kat Von D, and this bottom one is Lorac. So I mean, you look at them and the Lorac one's a little bit more muted, but I mean, they're pretty dang close, honestly. For someone that's probably not gonna wear green like all the time, they're pretty freaking close. And the one I'm for sure keeping is the purple shade because I don't have anything like it and I really do like it. So that is my review and swatches. I'm sorry this is a longer video, but I wanted to really show you guys some of the other palettes I have in my collection in case you guys were wondering like, wow, none of those look special, or like, I feel like I might have seen that color somewhere, because that's exactly what I did. So I thought you guys might want to see some of the other palettes I have and how they compare in color to the new Kat Von D Shade and Light Eye Contour quads. But overall, I'd give this probably like, I don't know, like a B rating. Like, I think they're good, they're not great, they're not bad. Like, I still like it enough that I want to keep one of the shades. If they had different colors, or like that I didn't already have in my collection, or if I just didn't have the palettes that I already had, I probably would keep another 2 or 3 of them, or maybe keep all 4, but I just already have a lot of these colors personally, in my opinion. But if you're someone watching this video that doesn't have a lot of these colors, I would go ahead and pick it up. I do think they're really nice. I don't think, in my opinion, they're probably worth buying all 4 of them. I do think they're overpriced. I do think that the packaging is like just bulky, and like, you could have done a little bit better job with the packaging, Kat Von D. But overall, I still like them. Not liking them enough to keep all 4, but definitely liking them enough to have something like this that's unique in my collection and a beautiful color that I also don't have in my collection. So I hope you guys enjoyed the review, the swatches, and the comparisons. And if you did, give this video a thumbs up and let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think of these, because I know these are a very hyped up product that we're all excited about. I mean, I was so floored and excited to go get this product from Jcpenny when I called. So I would love to hear what you guys think, and if you've got to play with them yet, or what you think about the colors and things like that. I would love to hear it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys very soon. Bye!